All right, welcome everybody to the Finance Executive Brain Trust After Party discussion. We have just finished off a great Brain Trust meeting, meeting of the minds here in Arizona, different CFOs and finance executives from across the board. Some great stuff. But you know, the thing that seems to be on top of mind right now, and it seems to be quite persistent, is this idea that, so our topic of discussion for today is deriving data from multiple sources. So what are some best practices for aggregating that data? What are some best practices for visualizing it, telling the story, things like that? So I've got this awesome panel in front of me before us that's going to give us from various companies across Arizona. So they're going to jump in and we're going to have a discussion about some best practices for aggregating, deriving data. So with that, I would like to turn the time over to Rachel. Rachel, do you want to kick us off?
Sure, sounds good. But yeah, I mean, I'm sure we've all kind of struggled with it, whether it's at your current company or previous positions, where it's just hard to get all of the data that you're needing to, make these good business decisions, financial decisions with, all these systems that don't talk to each other, and get you good data on time in order to make these decisions is usually after the fact. So being able to kind of figure out different ways to combine all of it and make sure it's all accurate and talking to each other throughout these systems is always, a good benefit that people typically will look for. So yeah, if anybody wants to jump in, I've already talked to both Antonios in our first breakout group about it a little bit, but one thing that we've done in Now CFO internally, and not just for clients, but is building a data warehouse. We had an outside company come in and build a data warehouse for us that is customized to Now CFO, and it encompasses our project management software, our financial reporting software, our accounting system, everything like that, that has all this different financial sales information, utilization tracking, everything like that. It's all housed in one specific area, and it's accurate to the minute essentially. So at any point I log into it, I'm just looking to see if I should hire somebody or open a new office somewhere. I'm able to kind of go and see where we're at, what makes sense now, what might make sense in a few months from now, and really get that good accurate data. Obviously, it's a little bit pricey sometimes to be able to do that, but I think it's been so beneficial on our end. We did it about a year ago, and just being able to have that access to the data has been monumental for us. And we've done it for a couple clients too, not us specifically, but the company that we brought in, they're called Definity is who we used for it, but they knocked it out of the park, and that's been something really beneficial for us. But I don't know if anybody else has anything they've done that's been working for them, or seen anything else that you want to talk about that's been helpful.
Well, it's interesting, Rachel, that you spoke to the fact that you have real-time data and that it's pricey. I think a question a lot of people should ask is, obviously with you providing resources to companies, that's timeliness. There may be situations where yesterday or 2 days data is still valuable for decision making, and you can save money by not necessarily being in the real-time mode. And if accuracy is what you really need to make good decisions, that not focusing on that immediacy and you're focusing on accuracy, because those two things with a limited budget may be yours. I can get better data if I can have 2 days to go through a cleansing program, some additional things, or I can have it immediately. You really need to think for your industry, which is the most important, timeliness or accuracy. Because sometimes they're, unfortunately, with a limited budget, which is the world we as CFOs always work in, you've got to decide what's the best thing for your buck and stick with it, but make that decision consciously.
Right. No, I agree 100%. And yeah, I mean, like you said, it might not be the best, direction to go for everybody. There's different ERPs that are super robust that might be fine and can integrate with other softwares too. And like you said, yeah, it just depends on industry, size of your company, your projected growth, if you're going to need something a little more robust anytime soon, or if you're good with what you have now. But yeah, it just depends what your company finds more valuable in the current state and time. So.
And what I failed to confirm is I agree with you that a data warehouse is really ultimately the tool that is most useful. And what's good is technology's come to the position where massive amount of data to mine is no longer a problem. There was a time where you had to consolidate because your computers only held so much stuff. I know I'm aging myself, like the music we like, but now, I mean, the systems and everything are so much more robust and responsive that, you can have a field that adds field A and B for you in your data warehouse instead of, recalculating every time, because fields and size of data is not the issue.
Right.
I'm still feel a bit uneasy about the real-time thing, because we'll picture this, and I guess it depends on the industry. In the finance or banking industry, of course, you need to have your operations online because every single deposit or withdrawal, the changes in your balance have a meaning in that case. But in other industries, moves at a different pace, and sometimes entering, for example, just an accrual for a special operation and making a reading at that precise point in time, it may give you an inaccurate reading of the situation, not necessarily what is happening. It is only when it's all has been said and done, I don't know, in the middle of the month or at the month closing, when you have the real picture. So there is two. I guess that is contingent to the industry that you are dealing with, the needs of, or the real need of the real-time thing. You don't have the controls to make or to change the course for the boat and doesn't move in that direction necessarily, even if you have a real-time data.
And I'm used to a situation where production information was very timely, volume of premium in our case coming in, the amount of dollars being spent on claims in our case coming out. But when it came to true bottom line ROE, that was not a daily calculation. So there were handles in the system for the production, marketing, business end of the company, but some of the more nuanced financial information was less than real time because of, as you said, you're not going to do daily accruals, so you have a profit and loss by day. That would be probably not much value added if your drivers are other data points.
In my experience throughout my career has been scalability and agility of whatever system you're working with. I remember back in the day when I worked at Honeywell, we had just recently acquired Allied Signal, and they each had their own ERP system, and we ended up going with SAP because they had a lot better ability to scale up from where we were and be able to absorb the entire operation of Allied Signal. So it's one of those things that maybe when you're first looking at what accounting system to use, you're not thinking about, but it's very important. And then today, the agility of the software to maybe with their developing side to be able to adjust to the environment. And we were able to go from an on-premise system to being on the cloud. It's the exact same software, but I can access it now, not just from my desktop computer at the office, but from any internet access at a coffee shop if I need to. And if I have the right security and if I've got the login link information, I can jump into the system from anywhere. So it's scalability and agility in any sort of software system that you're looking at that has been important to me.
Yeah, I think that's a good point. I know you brought that up in our one of our breakout rooms earlier, but yeah, more cloud-based stuff, especially after last year being most of us working remote for the whole year, and even up to now, some of us being able to have that cloud-based ERP or software that you can work from anywhere, and the information is always updating, and it's as accurate as can be. I think a lot of people ended up, realizing that maybe their system, what they were on currently, isn't as robust to be able to get you all of that information and stuff working, remotely from all these different areas. People are seeing different information, and it's just nicer. I think a lot of people kind of realized that and ended up having to figure other things out. But yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah, if you can have all the great data, whether it's current or not current, if you can access it from from a hospital room, that doesn't mean anything to you.
Fantastic. Well, I want to thank you all for the time dedicated to some of these great best practices when it comes to deriving data from multiple sources. Some excellent things to consider. Thank you for joining us for our Brain Trust event, connecting with other CFOs, controllers, executives, and we will see you at the next one. So we'll catch you guys in December sometime.
Thank you.